Good morning and welcome to Purpose-Driven Finances, where our focus is helping you use your finances to achieve the purpose and plan for your life. And now here's the host of Purpose-Driven Finances, Allan Molina with Serwus Capital Management.
Hey, good morning. This is Allan Molina, your host of Purpose-Driven Finances and President of Serwus Capital Management. Hope you've had a great week. You know, it's kind of bugging me, folks, the rain. It's supposed to rain a half an inch here in Lynchburg today. And I'm like, come on, man. I was supposed to take my wife to the Celtic Festival and Highland Games over at the Sedalia Center. I think I'm still going to take her over there with a rain poncho. But between that and, getting prepared for that, I'm sitting here with my favorite co-host, the rock star of sports in Lynchburg.
Dennis Carter.
Rich Roth.
Where is he?
Rich Roth.
Where's
How you doing,
Dennis?
my friend?
Where's Dennis?
Now, Rich, one day you'll be in the Radio Hall of Fame or something.
I doubt it.
Yeah. You do a great job.
Thank you.
I know sometimes you fake it because sometimes I fake it, but you do a great job. I listen occasionally during the week. So let's dip into your world a little bit.
What?
Let's dip into your world.
Why are we dipping into my world?
Because there's a lot of people listening who have their brackets and they have blown up.
Yes.
Some of them have great brackets.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have Oakland beating Kentucky?
No, as a matter of fact, I had Kentucky going a very, very, very long way.
Exactly.
And that pained me because, I hate Kentucky, and usually I find ways to get teams I don't like out of my bracket very quickly.
Yeah.
Like Duke, I've always got them going out in the first or second round. Doesn't matter.
Right. Doesn't matter.
It's just, when can I get them out? And that's usually the case with Kentucky. Didn't do it this year. But the other thing is, Allan, and as the tournament continues to evolve and we've got COVID years and guys who are playing 5 and 6 years because of that, a lot of the smaller teams like Oakland, like that dude who lit it up on Thursday night
was
for
it
Oakland.
Townsend?
Golke?
Or Conway?
What do you mean?
His name.
Golke was his last name. It's like
Golke. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 10 3-pointers.
He's all the way down here. Yeah.
But
30. Yeah, Jay Golke.
But
yeah.
he played Division II college ball for 4 years before going to. So these guys are like 25 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And the Kentucky kids, they're freshmen, they're 17, 18 years old. And
around 17, 18, probably 19, 20.
Well, some may be. Because now we have guys who are reclassing to get to college earlier.
Oh, wow.
To speed up their. So, there are all kinds of, crazy things that are happening. But, the truth is that, the college tournament, it's the teams that do well are the experienced older teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that. But yet I still pick Kentucky. I hate them, and I know that they're not built for this, but yet I still picked them, so I kind of feel like I got what I deserved.
Yeah, but, I'll play a violin for you.
Thank you.
That was a good, interpretation, wasn't it?
Right.
It was really good. But regardless if the guy's been in there for 20 years, he balled out.
He did. Oh, no question.
I was watching a video before our show, and it was like he wasn't even dribbling. He was getting the ball and draining it, and not only like 2 inches from the 3-point line. Sometimes 2 and 3 feet behind.
Well, and that's what we love about this basketball tournament, right? And the amazing thing about it is it kind of reminds me of the Super Bowl,
right?
In a way, because even people who aren't big college basketball fans, Kira, our art director,
yeah.
She was talking about her bracket. She doesn't know. I don't know if I gave her the choice between a basketball and a tennis ball that she would know the difference.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
But she filled out a bracket, and, people, they love that. And, the upsets are what make this tournament so great.
Right.
Especially early on. First couple days, first weekend are phenomenal.
Exactly. And I don't know if I'm gradually transitioning over to the world of finance.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, exactly. So would our listeners. Like Allan, I'm here to hear.
Right. I want financial advice.
Right. Not talking about
brackets?
A bracket. Yeah. I'm tired of my husband talking about it all week. But online betting is tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is, like, if a state decides to tax it by 35%, it dramatically reduces the revenue, and these companies pull out. It's just amazing, And DraftKings is the top dog. But what I don't know, I don't know anything about it. I really don't. The reason I'm talking about it is because I hear about the finance side of it. Because every day I listen to analysts from this sector, the GLL sector, gaming, L and leisure or something.
Liquor, is with liquor one of them?
I have no idea. I don't know what the other L is, but it's gaming and leisure. I don't know what L. You're gonna look it up. I appreciate that. But what was amazing is they make a tremendous amount of their money from parlays. And you're if you're on the app and you pull it up, in the middle of the game, they'll say, if this guy in the next, by the end of this half gets another 3-pointers, then we'll pay out plus 1,000 or plus 800. And what's interesting is people take those because they'll say, hey, I'll do $5 on that or $10 on that, and it's highly profitable. So if you are a person who watches sports and then does the parlays, realize that most parlays are designed to make you lose.
Oh, of course.
So
and they make them really appealing, right?
Right.
Like, and then there are the teasers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you could move each line by 6 points, but you got to hit all 3.
Right.
And then the payouts, just as if you had placed one simple bet.
Right.
And you're sitting there going, is this really worth it? But it's all very appealing. By the way, the other L was lodging.
Lodging.
Gaming,
okay.
Lodging, and leisure.
Okay, good. So I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm here for.
You're on top of your game.
Keep you on your tracks.
Yes, sir. So what I thought we would do is, I'm trying to really focus the show on 2 areas that I really help people. 1, having a process of portfolio management, and 2, having a process of financial planning. So if you remember the past 2 weeks, we talked about a 50-year-old family individual. Last week, we talked to somebody in their 30s. And this week, we're going to talk about someone who's already retired.
Okay.
Probably 65, 70, 80, 90, something like that. But before we get there, the Federal Reserve did a little ditty this week on Wednesday. And it was nice being able to watch it and not being really stressed. The reason being is I can remember, last year, but also back in the day, 2007, 8, and 9, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, listening to what the Federal Reserve equivalent in Europe was doing about Italian bonds. So it was nice just to watch it and eat a little and, watch Twitter of how people were responding. But let me give you some updates real quick. They left rates unchanged. They left 3 rate cuts this year. And they said the economy is good, and so is employment. So it looks like things are rocking and rolling.
Great.
But here's this other thing I didn't understand what they said. They said CPI and PCE. CPI is Consumer Price Index, and PCE is personal consumption expenditures. That they rose about 2.5% over the past year through February. Okay?
All right.
If you pulled up CPI through February, it's like 3.3, 3.4. I'm like, and I got this directly out of
from the Fed.
I mean, from their from
notes,
the Fed,
from their notes,
from their because he spoke for about an hour, and the next day you can get a transcript of it. So, folks, if you want a transcript of it, I have it. It's about 24 pages. So I was looking. I was like 2.5%. And then I was like, what is he doing? But, if he believes it, that's fine. But let me read you this quote. Or do you want to read it? It doesn't matter to me.
I'll read it.
Okay. Because people I've talked to them.
So who am I?
But I take.
Who am I?
Oh, not Bernanke.
I'm not
Powell.
Bernanke.
You're Powell. I'm just used to Bernanke,
So I'm Fed Chairman Powell.
Yes.
But I take the two of them together, and I think they haven't really changed the overall story, which is that of inflation moving down gradually on a sometimes bumpy road toward 2%.
Exactly. So he is like, thank you you did a great impersonation.
I tried to kind of make it a little more sophisticated.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
We should, you could probably say, hey, I'll step in for you.
All right. Well, I'm happy to be your reader of quotes.
And so the Fed is basically saying, hey, we're happy where things are going. So what does that mean? Well, here's what's going to happen. They're going to lower interest rates 3 times this year. Probably June and probably right before the election is my guess. Well, what's going to happen?
Because the Fed's not political, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
But Powell is a Republican.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Please.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You didn't do anything. It's me.
I brought you down the rabbit hole.
Because on Friday I heard all kinds of ridiculousness that's happening. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna move on. So, how does it impact your portfolio? First of all, you have to watch out for higher inflation for longer.
But he said it was coming down gradually to a 2%.
Right. He did. But it probably won't go below 3 until January, February, March next year. So what does that mean? Well, before we get there, why? Well, here's a process. This goes back 300 or 400 years. What happens when the government prints money and the government is printing money? Because they just passed the budget on Friday of $1.2 trillion for the budget. So why are you printing 3.6 or 2.5? If you have a budget, you need to stick with it, but obviously they're not. So here's what happens when the government prints money.
I wish we could all print money.
Dude, I would be
I'd have my budget and then, I want this. Just print a little more.
Oh, yeah, I would be like, I'm daisy chaining them things together. I'm renting out the next building over.
So the U.S. government really does think it has a money tree in its backyard.
Exactly. They just
print more.
Exactly. So the first thing that happens is asset prices go up because they're printing money. And you think that is a good thing. But the problem is it's really not very legitimate because things cost more, but the dollar's worth less. Inflation, on average, goes up a year after they start printing. They've been printing. So what can be expected from inflation for the next few years? Continuously going up. So, but the sad part of it is wage inflation is never enough to compensate for the inflation that has gone up.
Right.
And then if they lower interest rates, that's just going to be, have you ever seen those videos where those dads were like, let's see what happens? And they decide to take some gasoline and pour it on the fire. And then they freak out and they throw the can. And it ends up on their fence or under their car.
And the whole thing blows up.
Yes. So that's what's going to happen. And so how do you position your portfolio? First of all, with growthy assets. Don't look at getting a income from dividends and interest, because what's going to happen is the stock market's going to go up, just like I said in January. But what's happening is there's a transition that's occurring from growthy areas like tech. You remember a few weeks ago I said there's going to be a Department of Justice lawsuit against Apple?
Yes.
It was made public yesterday. So not yesterday, on Thursday. And then, so there's a change going on in what areas? I don't expect you've kept up with it, Rich. Oil is up 20% since around December 15th.
I know. I just driving around the last couple of days, gas prices have shot up like 30 cents.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen some of the local ones go from like $3.29 to $3.55.
Right.
It's like, wow. What's
gold is going up. It's hitting all-time records. My wife asked me, what in the world happened here? Cocoa, not not Coca-Cola, but cocoa. You know, the brown stuff that you make hot chocolate with.
Yeah, cocoa. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't ever say it right. Cocoa.
Cocoa.
Cocoa. Yeah. How you say it?
Cocoa.
Cocoa. Yeah.
Leave
cocoa.
off the last A for
I like cocoa better now.
cocoa. It has a nice ring to it.
Hey, you know.
Cocoa.
It's up 90% in 3 months.
90.
90.
Man. No more chocolate milk.
Right, exactly. So, folks, that you need to start positioning your portfolios for areas that can garner captures in inflation. The economy is going to grow, but things are shifting over, materials and other areas. So, folks, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about, if you're retirement, what to do about your portfolio, and then about planning. Give me a call at 434-316-0246, and I'll catch you in about a minute.
I have a solve for that. It's what he does. Tommy Parmenter is the woodsman. His tree removal company handles all jobs. Other tree companies call on him for his tree climbing experience and expertise for the most complex removals. The woodsman is a veteran-owned and operated company.
That's right. My team and I are top-notch. We can handle the scariest tree job you got. We're properly equipped and more than capable. I'm Tommy, the woodsman.
And his estimates are your final price. The website is IHaveASolveForThat.com. IHaveASolveForThat.com.
Dan Bongino.
When we want to get back to a common set of unifying principles, the Democrats will let us know. When the Democrats want to stop open borders, censorship, spying on political opponents, weaponization of government, putting political opponents in jail, and when that time comes, maybe we can get back to Robert's Rules of Order. But that time's not now. It's not today, and tomorrow doesn't look good either. We can't legislate sanity, and we certainly can't legislate love of the Constitution or country.
The Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from noon to 3 on WLNI. And now, back to Purpose-Driven Finances. Here's Allan Molina with Serwus Capital Management.
Hey, good morning. This is Allan Molina, again, your host of Purpose-Driven Finances and president of Serwus Capital Management over here on Graves Mill Road. Just stop by my website, servuscm.com, or give me a call, 434-316-0246. Hey, I want to invite you out to lunch or dinner. Give me a call and or text me or call me or email me, and let's do a dinner. Let's talk about your portfolio. Let's talk about your plans, your dreams, your goals. Let's talk about life. And guess what? I will foot the bill. And so you just give me a call. You and your husband, your significant other, your wife. Let's go out to dinner. Let's go out to lunch. I would enjoy it. But
yeah, folks, he loves talking about this stuff.
I do enjoy it.
And I know the other thing that you enjoy telling people about, and you should, is the QPM, and you'll have more updates on this coming out, I know, but the proprietary investment strategy that you've created and developed over the last more than a decade.
Oh, almost a decade,
almost
9 years.
A decade.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that certainly sets you apart from a lot of other advisors who, do what most advisors do, the asset allocation, the buckets, all that. And, you approach things a little bit differently. And for folks who are looking for something, a little bit more proactive,
right.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No. And, before you were even doing this show, you and I sat down and and talked about it. And, I had been in the business before and, was really, intrigued and impressed by it because, you talk about, being proactive in the market's going to do something and people, needing to be proactive, not just ride it out.
Right.
And that makes a lot of sense to a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Rich. And folks, you don't know I'm taking Rich out to lunch. And so help me with because
but it's not for everybody, right? I mean, we're not saying, hey, you got to do this. It's if you're looking for something a little bit different, if you're looking to be more active in your management, a little bit more proactive rather than reactive,
Right.
Listen to what he has to say.
Yeah,
That's all.
I'm very active in the dynamic asset allocation as well
Yeah.
as a QPM, and it's exciting, and but I appreciate that, Rich.
And now we're talking about older people, retired people, and their financial planning.
Yeah, exactly. And first thing I wanted to say is, great job. You've made it to 60 to 70, 80, 90, whatever the number is. You've worked hard. You've saved well. Great job. And so congratulations for getting here. Number 2, don't fret over spilled milk or milk you never got from the cow, because that's back in the day.
What?
Yeah, man.
Don't fret over milk you never got from the cow.
Right.
Okay.
Because if you spill the milk, people get upset about it. That's in the past.
Right.
Well, if you were nervous about an investment and never got the milk from the cow in the first place, don't fret over it. Is that a new thing? Probably.
I don't know what it is.
I just thought about it.
It's good. I like it. Yeah.
At least it wasn't, bad. Yes, I'm playing with the wires. Thank you, Rich. So, as I was going through this, what I was thinking is, what are the concerns that I've gotten from my clients? Because I can't say I know what your concerns are, because I'm not 60, 70, 80, 90.
Right.
I'm not in retirement. So here's I've gone through my clients, and here's what I normally hear: healthcare. It's expensive. Average healthcare, not including COVID, before COVID was 6.5%. It's probably a little bit more than that now. That's what it is yearly. Number 2 is I'm not wanting to cause issues for my family. Example, long-term care. I'm not really interested in my daughter who's a nurse taking care of me. I'm not interested in that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be a burden to my family. Number 3, I don't want to outlive my money. That's a big concern. Number 4, I want to have the income that I want, and really I want more than I need.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if my grandkids want something, I can spoil them or get it for them. I can take care of their education. If I want to go get a steak dinner rather than going to McDonald's, I can do that. Because as a retired person, I've heard the horror stories of people splitting their medicine and not having enough. And the last thing is I want to leave a legacy and impact those after me.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the things I've heard in a nutshell. There's many more, but they're basically, offshoots of those 5 or 6 things. So, Rich, I always ask you this you ever heard the statement, life is but a vapor?
No.
Okay.
I've heard life is like a box of chocolates.
Okay, yeah. That's a definite
Not
option.
life is a vapor. What does it mean?
Life is but a vapor. It really means that it's short.
Okay.
You don't know how long it's going to be. You don't know how intense it's going to be. And frankly, in the totality of earthly time, your life and my life is a short time. And so realistically, what that means is we don't know when we're going to be born, because I believe there's life after death. We don't know where we're going to die. We don't know how we're going to die unless we do something stupid like a felony, But realistically, we don't know those things. And the application is don't fear when the vapor will end. Enjoy life when you have it and do the best you can. Because if you have to, in retirement, change something, enjoy life while you're changing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody wants a child who is 15 years old to have longer life than an 80-year-old. That's just how the average American is. So as a retired person, clear your life to where you enjoy it. Take those stresses and get rid of them and enjoy your life. So what should your investments look like?
And again, we're talking about a retired person.
Right. Somebody in retirement. First of all, you probably have excess cash in your checking account. You probably don't need $20,000 sitting in your checking account. You probably don't need $10,000 in your checking account. You say, Allan, it makes me feel better. Here's my suggestion. Take $8,000 of that, because you have money coming in every month and you're not spending the entire amount. Take $8,000 at the end of the month and put that into an investment account and go buy a 3-month treasury. You say, well, what's that going to do for me? At the bank, you're probably earning a little above dirt, is my guess. I've heard of some people having 3% and 4%, but that's not very common in their money market. Take the $8,000 and buy a 3-month treasury. You're going to get a yield of 5.4%, 5.35. That's pretty good. It sure beats 2% and 3%. And then what you do is, as your savings builds up to $10,000, move that $8,000. You say, Allan, it's locked up for 3 months. It's not. I've had clients in the past week. They said, hey, Allan, I need a little extra money to do what I want to do. Can you sell that bond we put in the T-bills? Yes. And there's no penalty. They don't take the interest from you, because what happens is the interest accrues daily. And
so it's very different from a CD.
Correct.
Where you really are locked in for the duration.
Right. And the U.S. Treasury market is probably one of the most liquid in the entire world. It's probably gold, U.S. dollars, and treasuries. That's my guess. Then what I would do is even take some of that. Once you get up a lot more than that, like let's say 20 or 30, 40, 50, 100,000, I routinely talk to people. They have more than 10,000 in their checking account. Take that and then maybe get a little bit more risk to it. What I mean by that is, I was talking to a client just the other day, and we bought him Exxon a few years ago, and it did very well. He's like, Allan, that money, go ahead and find another Exxon for me. And so there's ways that you can actually go buy something and have it go up. Soon buying long-term bonds, probably in the next 2 months, is going to be a great thing to do, because you're going to be able to get equity-like returns, but in a bond. Because once they start lowering interest rates, long-term bonds are going to go through the roof. If you remember, I think in October we made like 12% in like 6 weeks on long-term bonds. That's a really good return,
I'd say.
That being said, also take a little bit and look at a 5-year plus plan. And then, at your retirement assets, have a moderately balanced portfolio. That old adage that I still can't stand, where it says take 100 and subtract your age, and that's how much percentage of stocks you should have. The problem with that is, if you're 80 and they say you have to have 20% stock, what if your portfolio doesn't keep up with inflation and healthcare inflation, and you live another 25 years? Because if there was a study, I probably should not go down that. We don't have time, so I'm not going to go down that study. But get a moderate balanced portfolio. Don't focus just on income, but also focus on growth. NVIDIA and Amazon and Microsoft have done very well, and Google. Why not have a small portion from a fund, when I say that, like an ETF or a mutual fund, in your portfolio? And I'm not talking 20 or 30%. I'm talking like 3 or 4 or 5%. Also, protect yourself from high income return investments. If they say 12% and it's a bond, not the U.S. government, be very leery of it. Yeah. And then also base your risk on your comfort, but also your needs. Now, folks, I'm interested in sitting down and talking with you. Give me a call at 434-316-0246, or go to my website, SERVUSCM. And I hope you have a blessed weekend, and I look forward to talking to you next week.
Returns for illustrative purpose. This is not a suggestion to buy, sell, or use a platform. Only will a suggestion occur after a meeting to determine goals, risk tolerance, and time horizons. Investments involve risks and no guarantee of future results.